Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of CAD 101. In this episode, I will show you how to use your dimensions. Okay, now this is the dimensioning toolbar. Well, there are a number of dimensioning toolbar, but the most basic one is linear dimension or dim linear. This measures the vertical or horizontal distances between points. So between 2 points. So it measures the horizontal or vertical distance between 2 points. I want to measure from here to here. Using this command will do that. So I'm going to click on the first point, then click on the second point. Then I should have my dimension line. But something is wrong here. I am not seeing anything. Now, if you zoom in, you'll see the units. From this point to this point measures 150 millimeters. But given the size of the drawing in relation to the dimension line, you are not able to see. Now, there is a command called dim style, rather. If you will not see it here, or can you? This is it, dim style. You can click on the drop down menu to find it, or if you go to annotate, you'll see more annotation options. Let me go back home. Dim style. You can alternatively type the command dim style. Once you type dim style, it will take you to this menu, and by default it has a standard dim style or dimension style. You can create new dimension styles, or you can modify the existing one. I'm going to modify this existing dim style. I'm going to click modify. There are a lot of options that you can select to edit the dim style or the dimension style. You have lines, and here are some parameters. You have symbols and arrows. You have text, fit, primary units, alternative units, and tolerance. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to go through the basic ones. The first thing I normally do when editing my dim style is to change the text height. Now this is at 0.18, so I won't be able to see that any at all in relation to the drawing. The drawing is 150 millimeters, the length that I'm measuring. I'm going to use that as a guide to achieve a dim style. Let's try 10. I'll press OK and close. 10 seems okay. If you want it smaller or larger, I'm going to stick with 10. I'm going to repeat the command because there are more things that I want to edit, such as the arrow size. So symbols and arrows, the arrows are what I want. I'm going to change the arrow size to about 3 or 5 rather. Let's see what that does. I'm going to press OK, and if you notice, it is showing you, the screen is showing you the sizes in relation with each other, like the text height versus the arrow size. So close. Let's see what it does. I would want the arrows are a bit bigger, so I'm going to go dim style once more, modify. Let's put it at 8. Okay, before I close, there are more things I want to change. Let's go over to lines. This will affect the lines that are part of the dimension line. Okay, so you can choose extend beyond dim line. This is right here. If you want the line to extend further, let me extend that, put it at 10 to see. And if you notice in the preview, it has extended, but I don't want it to extend, so I'm going to put it to 0. Offset from origin is the distance where the dimension line would start from the object. So I'll put that at 10. Close. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, that's good. Some persons like to, I think I'm going to extend the dimension line. Let's go annotation. Modify symbols and arrows, no lines, sorry. Let's put this at 5. Let's see what we'll have. And the only reason why I'm not just editing everything at once, because I wanted to show you what is happening step by step. Let's go back, modify. Let's go to primary units. I want to change the primary units, the precision from 0. Right. Now this is like setting up your units, but specifically for the dimension lines. Fit. I'm going to change, if you notice all the writings, all the words are horizontal. I can let them be aligned with the dimension line or ISO standard. I normally put them in line with the dimension line. You can have them centered or above the dimension lines. So you have that. So I've just allowed them to be above, and the offset for the text from the dimension line, I want them to be off a bit, and I've just selected 5. So if you notice, it's not sitting on the dimension line anymore. So you know it has a little distance in between the text and the dimension line. That is. I won't go into alternative units, that's for another lesson, or the tolerance. So I've changed some text parameters. I did not do anything with the fit as well. I don't need to at this time. There's nothing else. You have some other arrow types that you can use, but I want to stick with the closed field. Okay, so that's it for the dimensioning. I am okay with that, and this is what it will look like. So I want to measure here, dimensions, I want to measure here. I normally use my dimension lines with layers, so I would normally create a new layer and call this layer dimensions, or dim for short. I'm going to change the line color to, I normally use a light color so it's not confused with the actual drawing. Then I'm going to change these to the dimension. So what I did here was I select the lines, then click on the dimension layer, and they automatically conform. Now when I press escape, it's now back on the regular layer. If I want to draw dimension lines using the layer, I have to click on the layer first, then click on the command, then proceed to click on the starting point and the ending point. Right. So there are some other dimensions. Let's say I want to measure, let's go back to the default layer. I have a triangle here, and I want to measure the hypotenuse. You cannot use this dimension option, the linear, because it will measure the vertical or horizontal distance between the 2 points. You have to change the command to aligned. Now it's measuring distance at a plane, at a sloped or inclined plane. Right? Let's say you want to measure the diameter of a circle or arc, because it can work for both. You will change it from aligned to radius. Let me change my layers to dimensions so I don't have to keep changing it after a while. So let's go back, radius. Or it could be the diameter. It can also be outside. So let's do one more, radius. And what I'm doing here, I'm just pressing space to reactivate the command. Pressing space or enter once no command is active is going to reactivate the last command that you used. So let's try diameter. So it's now showing you the diameter, and here are the symbols, R for radius, and this is the diameter sign. One more thing. I'm just going to show you one more parameter. The others are for another day. Angular dimension. This is going to measure the angle between two lines. So this is 90 degrees. 49 degrees. So 90 plus 49 is 139. So I'm going to assume that this is 31, or 41 rather. Yes, I'm correct. So this is a quick overview of how to use dimensioning in AutoCAD, how to dimension stuff, and how to change the properties of your dimension lines. Let me show you one final thing. I'm going to go back to dim style, and rather than modifying what was already here, I'm going to create a new dim style, and I'm going to call this dim style 2. I can just leave this here, start with standard. Or should I use it? Okay, let's go. Continue. Now, this will be, let's change this, the text size to 20. So it's twice the size. I'm not going to change anything else for now. Now that you realize that you have another dim style. So if you select this dim style and press close, everything that you do will conform to the first dimension style. Or it's conforming to the new dimension style. Let's see what was selected. Oh, it's on dim style 2. So you can change it to dim, the annotative that I had. This was the standard before. No, sorry, the standard was this before. This was the one that I was working with. So let's go back to standard. If I'm to do this again, now it's at the original size. So you can switch between dimension styles. Let me edit some more so you see what is happening. Like I'm modifying the dim style 2, not the standard. I'm going to change the arrow to architectural tick. Okay. Close. Now it has changed. So this is the second style that I created. This was the original style that I modified. So you have all of those options. You have all of those options. Right? So I hope you have learned a lot today on how to use dimensioning and how to adjust your dimension style. Please like, share, subscribe, and have a wonderful day.